Right, in this video I'm going to show you how you might be able to change a particular value in our nested array, not our nested array, but our multi-dimensional array, and we'll use nesting to do that. That's why that word was in my head. For example, if Michelangelo had a birthday and he became 18, how can we change that? How can we add 1 to 17? So let me show you how we might go about doing that. So in this code, as you can see, I have 4 arrays of each of the Ninja Turtles, and I've appended them all into this big array. So array turtles is an array of arrays. So let's just see that and print it out just to see what it looks like. So if I do run that out, and I can see that I've got a big array, and the big array has, that's not that line, this big array, let me try and highlight again, is one big array that has little arrays in it, or sub-arrays, or arrays of, this is an array of arrays. So there's an array separated by comma, here's a second array, here's a third array. I have a misplaced parenthesis there though, so let me see what I did there. All right, so I can see just by printing this out that I have an error. So it's always good to print things out in small increments, so that way you know where your error is. And I can look at Michelangelo at this line to try and see where is that errant parenthesis coming from. And I can see here that I wrote queens, but I didn't enclose it properly as an array. So now I can fix that. Wasn't a plan for this video, but it's always good to keep in mind anyway that errors happen. All right, so now that I look at my printout, I can see that array turtles of 0 is this array, and so array turtles of 0 is this string. Array turtles 0 of 1 is this string. So let's figure out how we can drill down into, let's do Michelangelo's 17. All right, so probably gave myself the hardest ones to spell. I didn't spell Raphael right there. So we'll keep Michelangelo, even though I don't know how to, I'm going to have a hard time spelling that. In other words, I'm going to ask the user who had a birthday, and they're going to type in Michelangelo, and then I need to find this array in my array of turtles, and once I find that, then I can update the birthday. So let's see how that might happen. Well, first of all, I know I need to get from the user which turtle I'm going to change. So I'll put birthday turtle equals input who had a birthday. Okay, and then I'll just print out birthday turtle so that I can see what's going, again, print often. Build small, print often. So now I run this, and who had a birthday? Donatello, let's say. And I printed out Donatello. So I know up to this point my code is working. So then I'll take the next step, and the next step's going to be, well, now that I know that I have a string, birthday turtle, so I know that I'm getting this string, I have to check and find that name in each of these arrays. In other words, let's try to do that. So I'm going to loop through my array of turtles for I in range, and then I'm going to go through the length of array turtles, TLES, and the first thing I'm going to do is just print out array turtles of I, again, just pieces at a time. So now I'm going to comment out these, comment out this print statement, and comment out this print statement so that I can just test things as I run. So is my for loop doing what I expected, and therefore am I getting, what am I getting here in array turtles of I? I don't know, let's run it and see. Who had a birthday? Donatello, which really isn't being utilized at this point, but I need to make sure it's working. And so when I go through this loop, I can see that each time I go through the loop, I'm getting a full-on array of a turtle. So now that I'm getting this array of a turtle, I need to check this name to see if it matched the input that they provided in the birthday turtle. And so to do that, all I'd have to do is if whatever they put in, birthday turtle, so that's a string, is equal to one of these values. So I already know that array turtles of I is what I'm getting each iteration of this loop, each time I go through this loop. So I know that that's giving me this whole piece because we just printed that in the line above. So now that I have this piece, I need to know just this string. And to get at that, then this is element 0 in this array. So I'm going to say in array turtles of I, as you're looping through each of these big arrays, look in the first element in each array to see if this string matches this string. And then I'm just going to do something like, if it does, print something simple for now. Found a match. ATCH. Else print no match. Okay, so each time it loops through the array, it should tell me whether or not it found a match. So I'm going to see 4 results, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 results as it goes through each iteration, each array. It's going to look in the first element to see if what the user typed in is the same as what's in this first element, and then it'll print whether or not it found a match or not. So let's just see if it finds a match for the things that I put in. Oh, common mistake, and not a single equal sign, a double equal sign. It's a comparison, not an assignment. And so who had a birthday? Let's put in Donatello. Okay, so it's still printing out this array each iteration. So in the first iteration, the first time it went through this loop, it has this array in its grasp, and that array says that array of 0 found a match, right? So it printed that out. The second time it had this array in the loop, and oh, looks like I had a problem. Looks like I misspelled the word print. So let's fix that. All right. And so who had a birthday? Donatello. Let's do a second one. Let's do, well, I misspelled Raphael, R-A-P-H-A-E-L. Let's try this one. And you can see that there is no match, no match, no match, and then it found a match on this one. So we know that this is working because our matches are printing out accordingly. All right, so that being said, I don't really care about the match anymore. I just want to grab a hold of, I need to know which of these found a match, right? So which iteration found the match? Was it the first time through? Was the second time through? Was it the third? Was it the fourth? So we can see visually that it was the last iteration that found it, and when we did it the first time, it was the first iteration. So what do we know each iteration? Well, we know what I is. And so I might make a variable at the very beginning, turtle found, and maybe in the short run I'm going to give it a -1 because I don't want to give it 0, 1, 2, or 3 or any of our index numbers. So if turtle found is still a -1, that means it's never found. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to erase this because I don't really need it anymore. I just did it to practice or to try and figure things out. So if we found a match, I'm going to set turtle found equal to I, meaning that keep a hold of each time I went through here, I changed, right? So if I was 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 when it found a match, that's how I know which array this value is in. I know that, or whoever it was it Raphael spelled wrong? Yeah. So I know then that the array that I'm interested in changing can be found at array turtles of 4. Because 0, 1, 2, 3, because we're keeping that value in I. So let me just do this. So once I'm done, let's print out I and see what happens, just to kind of bring that point home. So who had a birthday? Well, let's do the second one. Leonardo. You got to spell it correctly because I'm matching an exact thing, right? So Leonardo is 0, 1. So it should be 1. Let's see what it finds. It found a match and it printed 3. Why did it print 3? So, oh, right, because I didn't print out turtle found, I printed it out I. I is the last value after we were finished iterating. So this is what I'm worried about. I didn't mean to print out I was 0, 1, 2, 3, so that makes sense. What I should have printed out is that index that I caught. So let's do that. In other words, I need to know the index that was found, that found the match. So let's try that. Who had a birthday? Leonardo had a birthday. And so now we're printing out 1, which is correct, right? Because this was our first this is when I was 0, and this was when I was 1, and when I was 1, we found a match. So we know that array turtles of 1 has the array that refers to Leonardo. And so now that we know that, what I can very easily do is I can change this array's value, which is 0, 1, 2. I can update that. In other words, I'm going to stop printing out our array because we got the point there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out now, I'm going to make the change. So I know that array turtles of turtle found, so that's this array. So I've got the array in my hand, but I need to drill down into the specific data piece that I want, which is this one, which is array of this one is array element 0, 1, 2. So I can do 2 plus equals 1, plus equals 1. So take the value that's in that this 13 and add 1 to it. And so now if I do print, let's do, I probably should write a function for this because that makes sense, but I'm just going to repeat this real quick. So now when I print this out, oh, let's do this. So now I'm going to print out all the values for j in range length array turtles. This is from one of my prior videos. Print array turtles. I hate these pop-ups. Sorry about that. Turtles of I and then j. So now we should print out all of the values, and I think what I'm going to do is also append this end equals, so it'll print all of the turtle information on one line. And let's see what happens. So who had a birthday? Let's update Leonardo. So Leonardo used to be 13, so now we'll make Leonardo 14. So who had a birthday? Leonardo. And then I have an error, okay? Name error, name turtle is not defined, and I can see that on line 30. So I have an error here. Let's see why. Well, because I wrote array turtle, and I highlight that, it seems that I used the word array turtles instead. So I'm going to correct that, and we'll run it again. Who had a birthday? Leonardo, is that who we were changing? Leonardo. And now we can see that Leonardo got changed to 14 instead of 13. So being very clear on what it is you're trying to drill down to is really key here, and that's the whole point of multidimensional arrays. You have to make sure that you get a hold of first you have the big array, which in our case was array turtles, and that is an array of individual arrays. And so I need to know, first of all, array turtles of the big picture, which is array turtles of 0, array turtles of 1, array turtles of 2, array turtles of 3. And then once I have hold of that, I need the second value, which is once you get a hold of the individual array, then you need to dig down into which element in that array you need to get a hold of. So in our case, it was element 0, 1, 2 because we wanted to change the birthday. So that's how you would go about maybe updating or dynamically going through all of the different elements in your arrays.